Hey guys, M12, Warthog here, back with another video of Strategy Guide, and today we are going to be continuing our Attack of the Barbarian scenario and the original Mediterranean map for Age of Conquest 4. So in this one, I think what we're going to do is attack the Kingdom of the Burgundians, because they don't have a whole lot of territory. But this is a step towards controlling the sea area and not having to worry about arming these borders. That way I can divert all these troops over into other areas. So we're going to do this, and of course we're going to attack these guys, but we're going to do one at a time. So what I'm going to do now is say I accidentally clicked the wrong diplomacy button and just rush them. That's what I'm going to do here, guys. Gonna overpower here. Really can't do much in terms of outnumber at the point of attack anywhere else, and I'm just gonna move this one closer. Now you do gotta take into account that if I'm attacking these two territories over here that they have, I'm also attacking them here. So okay. Now that we got them out of this area, which is quite an amazing thing, I can't even buy troops from that province, which is just so sad. I'm gonna move this here. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to buy as many troops as I can here. And then I'm going to send this as a fleet next turn. And sending a fleet here is definitely going to be good, because when I go from here to here, I'm going to land raid them. And they're probably not going to expect this from me, because I've mostly been doing fighting over here. And one of the best things to do, because sometimes I even do this myself, is sometimes on a world map, I'll only focus on conflicts in Africa if I have problems with that. Meanwhile, I'll not pay attention for a few turns that someone attacked my border, but usually when I'm that big to focus on multiple continents, I'm usually have enough troops that I can focus on one thing for several turns, then go back to that and notice that I lost some troops because it's been attacked, rearm the border, and then go back to what I was doing. But it's occasionally good to look into in-depth detail what's going on their border with you, because they may just pull a trick out of your sleeve and you may not see it coming, and that's when it can really, really screw you over. Now that I know how many numbers they have there, I'm just going to send an extra 100 to be there. Not attacking on the same turn, I could do that, but I really want to get the element of surprise, or take them by surprise, that the unexpected attack of me attacking them. Now, as you guys can see, I only had 2 troops, but I'm going to maintain and hold down this area here. Okay. So, at this point, I probably want to take out this territory here in order to gain full control of this sea here. Now, for me, that's not a good idea if they can... If this small nation, which is smaller than me, can afford to have 544 troops on a border. Now, the way to not worry about this is to simply just take out their leader. Now, I can't see it on the map here, but I know where it is, because we border this territory, we border all their territories except for one. And we would know if there's troops here, here, and here. But there's not. We know that there's troops here and here, but there's not one here. As a matter of fact, there is, it's just that we can't see it because we don't border them. So my best option would be naval strike right up through here and take that out if I ever needed to do that. Now, that's probably going to be the next step in our plan once I finish our little campaign that we're going on here. Now, of course, I sent in reinforcements from the water, but I'm also going to buy 100 troops here. I'm going to try and see if I can fortify this place and sort of lock down a solid area in Europe somewhere. I don't know. I started out in Northern Africa, but now I'm starting to expand everywhere. Okay. Now I feel like I have to buy all my troops for here. But what I'm gonna do, though, is send 100 there. Actually, I want to send, an additional 94. So that's more than what they have there, but chances are they're gonna buy some more troops to reinforce that area. So, it is possible that I'm not gonna win the conflict here. But what I will do is weaken the amount of troops there, because if they buy 135 and they lose 135, but they buy like 100, that means they're gonna have less troops next turn, making it easier for me to take it out later on. Now what I'm gonna do is not get involved with too many conflicts at once. So I'm gonna message the Franks, or the Francs as certain people pronounced it, and give them. And I'll give them gold next turn when I collect taxes. Because war costs money and I've been fighting too much. Okay. I'll send, and 30's enough. Gonna send everything but 100 troops. Now, another reason why I went for this is because they now have access to the English Channel here, to the Atlantic Ocean. It's really a good idea to have this here. The only downside is every territory I just gained borders something, and now I'm gonna have to spend the next few turns arming everything, but at least it's better than what it was before, and we'll be able to do this. Now, the bigger your nation is, the more money, of course, you're getting from taxes from bigger populations, which allows you to buy bigger armies, and in the long run, when you get into a situation like this where you need to quickly recover, you can either diplomacy, try and get a few turns of ceasefire while to do this, well, in the meantime, you could also get all that money back. In other times where you're a smaller nation, in order to make up and arm these areas that you cannot defend, you'd probably have to go in alliance with someone in hoping that they agree to an alliance with you. Unlike these guys, I've temporarily agreed to a ceasefire, which is a temporary act of peace, where if you want to be permanently at peace with someone, you would have to ask them as a separate different action in diplomacy. But, to me, I think only a few turns is all I'm going to need. Then we're going to go here and go for their leader, which is right there. Now, to double check, to make sure that they don't have anything else, I'm going to click on them, and they should have about 6 or 7 provinces. They have 7. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess I take it that's a territory that they conquered. But they could have their leader there. I'm not sure where they start, though. I'm gonna send a scout to find out if their leader's there. I'm just gonna do that because I think that's what I'm gonna need. What am I gonna need now? I'm gonna need something here. Maintaining, like, the island of Corsica is definitely gonna be, a thing you will need. Because when you are fighting this, having an eye's view of what's going on this peninsula, or pretty much any activity, you want one of these islands. That way you can see what's going on. See incoming naval attacks against your leader and other great cities that you have and whatnot before it happens. That kind of stuff. Okay. Now, as you guys know, this is no longer needed as a border because its naval fleet's blocking this. Well, pretty soon it won't be, and then we can just turn that into naval force once we get rid of this. But we want to be able to attack their leader first. Okay. So, their leader's there, which is great because they have nowhere to go. Which gives me the option to send 150 troops here, plus the 10 I sent last turn, over there. And if I take this out, this territory will not need to be treated as a border, and neither will this one. So we're diverting about a little over, almost close to, way over 200 troops, a little bit under 300, I think, troops that will no longer need to be focused on this area here. But what it will do is keep this a border. We will make, I think, these 3 territories borders, and that means this one and this one doesn't have to be a border. So we're gaining 3 borders and losing 4. Which means we're lessening the amount of numbers of territories we have to arm, which is actually quite good. And neither will this one or this one because they are not borders. So to start this out, what we're going to do is buy as many troops as we can because of tax season. And we're going to make one giant fleet. We're going to have this come down here, move up here, and we're going to attack this area directly, because when it falls, we're going to want like several hundred troops here. That way we can distribute them out between these 2 borders here. These 2 borders that we're getting, that we're gaining, and all that stuff. Okay. Meanwhile, over here, while this is putting in place, I'm going to put 2 more here. Now, I don't want these guys to die to the Kingdom of the Visigoths early on. So, you want to know what? I'm going to send them 50 coins of support. They'll think I like them. And in actuality, I've been plotting to destroy them all along. Diplomacy, they're at war with only 2 people. Well, let's see, what do I want to do? Let's ask for... No, an alliance is a bit much. I'll ask for peace. See if they want that. I mean, both our nations' happiness is going to increase because of this. Okay. So we got this fleet of almost 1,000 troops, and now we're going to move that into place here. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is move this here. Next turn, I think we'll be ready to attack them. Sorry! You thought you were our friends, but in actuality, you are not. I have a foothold in Spain, where you can see what's going on there. The rest of the areas really don't matter because we're going to get their leader, but I'm still going to treat this as a hot zone, even though that I know that we could potentially get everything else. It's not because I don't think I have full enough confidence that we're going to get the leader. It's just because I just want to take extra precautions as to what I'm doing. This area is not going to go there. Okay, and then we're going to attack this here. Apparently now we're gaining additional borders because apparently this territory here decided to remain like this. Which sucks. Okay, and now because of this, I'll be able to connect this territory all the way over here to this one. And then I pretty much have this area enclosed here, which I can easily get rid of when I attack these guys here. So I am already thinking way ahead of what I'm going to do. I mean, first, I think the first, I think it was either the first... Yeah, I think it was the first video I did on this scenario. Yeah, because this is my second one, I think. I'm already, Grand Ruler, so... Status. Which is pretty freaking awesome. I can only buy one troop in a... I don't even know anymore. Okay. So, if I think about it, taking out all of this will greatly reduce how many troops I need to arm my borders with. Like, I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll be losing about 9 borders, but only be gaining 3. Which I think is kind of awesome. Just on this alone, then I'll be actually losing an additional one down here, because I'm going to arm my coast here, and I surround them on pretty much everything else. So, the best thing to do here is I'm just going to buy as many troops as I can, put all of them but 100, not moving my commander, there next turn when I get the funds for it. I can only afford to move 300 right now. And they're moving their leader. Which, not quite good on my part, but it doesn't really matter. Okay. So, I really want to get these guys. So, what I think I'm going to do is send, when we attack, we're going to have 200 go this way, the 100 from here go this way. We're going to have some support going here, and most of it going here because they're already being supported by 2 nations here. And then what we're going to do is actually have 150 here, 150 here. We're going to send 100 here, and then 200 directly to this area here. Okay, so this is one of the scenarios that I find that usually goes a little bit faster. Okay, let's get on to this. So, Phase 1. We do that. Phase 2. I prepare additional troops to be made into a navy in case, as a backup plan in case something goes wrong. Phase 3, we attack everything. I'm gonna move this here. I'm gonna send 100 that way. All of our troops this way. Send 100 that way. 200 here. Nope. I'm gonna send 150 to this area here. Another 150 here. And I think that's gonna take care of all of our problems. I'm gonna move that there. And now I'm going to start dismissing a bunch of these because I don't want to wait to move them over. Especially when you want to wait 5 turns just to arm a border. A border's a border, and if it can be attacked, someone will. No one will hesitate. If you are weak in a certain area, where your border's not at full strength and they can easily attack it, if it's in their best interest to do it, they won't hesitate to do it. Okay, well, now that we got this surrounded, I think what I'm gonna do is send some there. I'm gonna send about 400 troops that way. Now, because in the long run, military upkeep will sometimes early on could affect how much money you get. If you have to spend a lot of money for disembarkment fees, if you're pretty much island-based and you have to island hop to grow your nation early on, it's going to cost money and put a hole through your pocket because of all of the things if you want to put like 40 per a territory. So what I'm doing is just going through and all the territories that won't be attacked, and then I'm going to re-strengthen my blockade of naval troops when I get the time to. Now, I'm not going to disband every single thing. I want some on the coastlines in case they do manage to break through, of course. And then next turn, what I'm going to do is buy more troops for these two areas here, which I think I could do, but that's not really worth it at the moment. What I'm going to do now is actually make this go here, and then this one go here. Now, the reason for this is that if I block this area here, nothing from this island or this island here, or anything past this island, can attack. They could attack here if they wanted to, but I can easily fix that when I add more troops and whatnot. But because I own these islands here, I'm going to know if they're going to attack, if they get in range to attack any one of these naval, coastal areas with the naval force at any time. Plus, this little choke point here is going to be well guarded, which is actually much smaller, which means I can afford to put more troops on one water tile than I can to put on two. Plus, I'm much larger now. I could actually easily afford to put more if I wanted to, but I don't really think it's necessary at the moment. So now I want to declare war on both these guys and finish them off. At this point, I think it would be very good. The only downside is that that's going to drain my happiness and people won't be too happy. And I may not collect taxes, people might revolt, and I may not even be able to buy troops. Well, we have an easy way to fix that. We're just going to issue a great challenge, because I can. And I will. Okay, that's going to need 200 to disembark that. So we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to issue a great challenge. And for those of you who do not know what that is, Vandals have called for everyone to participate in the Great Challenge. Do you want to take part in an all-out war? So pretty much everyone who votes yay for this election will go to war with each other. And the people who say nay will just receive a penalty for their cowardly actions and lose 25% happiness, but as a direct result, their diplomatic status with other nations will not change whatsoever. Will not change. It won't automatically change it, but everyone who says yes will change their diplomatic status to everyone who said yes to war. But if someone doesn't like that they didn't say yes or no to it or agree with one of their current allies, they may independently, after they show the results of the ballot, go into their diplomacy menu and change their status with another nation. Okay. So pretty much I got the land here. I can kick them out of this northern Europe area, push them back into Spain for the kingdom of the Visigoths. Then I'm going to attack these two here, but I'm going to have to buy more troops here because this is a coastline and naval assaults is a thing that happens. So I'm going to have to do that. Then I'm going to have to send then I think what I'm going to do is, because I surround this area, I'm going to easily send support to all different sides. I'm actually going to buy an additional 100 because I only want 400 for a naval fleet, and we're going to attack one area, then buy troops from that area to increase our and strengthen a foothold on one of these islands, and then continuously attack them again. Then here it's pretty much going to be build a naval force, attack them from here, or buy more troops here, which I guess I could do now. It's not going to be a lot though, but we got to be ready for anything, because I predict next turn they're going to send the results. We're going to find out who's with me and who is not. Chances are, many people are not going to be with me, but that does not matter. If these two were to team up against me, it really does not matter at this point. I can field more troops than they can on a border. They have 196. I have 300 on one. Here, it's just not gonna do them any good. And they voted nay, which means they don't want to fight me. And if that's the case, then I'm going to have to bring the fight to them. One by one, I will crush my enemies, leaving no choice. This territory that they own just going to get annihilated. Just going to say and put it out there. I surround this. Like, you can't send support to it other than what you buy from other than these three territories, but it's just, nope, it's just gone. That is a bunch of nope and a half. So I've launched like 3 attacks on like, well, 2 here, but like almost 3 on each one. I can make it 3. Okay. Now I'm gonna make 400 of these. I'm gonna send this here, and what I'm gonna do is we're gonna attack 2 islands, and I'm doing this instead of 1, like I said before, because none of them agreed to the Great War Challenge, and now I'm just going to gang up on 1 territory. And they all piled into the middle so that they could survive. One of the best options you can do, but really, in the long run, it's not going to do you anything, because regardless of what happens, eventually I will get in. But what you need to do is buy at least 200 troops for the surrounding territories, because if they buy more troops here, they say they buy more than, say, 100, which is what I had before, then they're gonna all send all their forces to one area, and then we're gonna take over this territory that they have here, but then they're gonna gain one of our territories, and it pretty much, you're pretty much playing cat and mouse game. They take over one of your territories, you take over the territory that they used to have, and doing it this way just prevents that from happening, and makes the demise of your enemies come a whole lot sooner. So, now what I'm going to do is send in an unnecessary amount of troops, but that's only because they're ticking me off right now. I think that's well over like 2,000. Then I'm going to attack this territory here, because that is my next best option. Then I'm going to launch a naval raid there. And the best chance that the Kingdom of the Visigoths or the Britons have at winning this is if they try to team up against me. But like I said, I'm too big for them to defeat me, but that still does not mean that they can win. I've seen 2 sides with a bigger army overall lose to a guy who had a smaller army. It's called the Battle of the Three Emperors, or the Battle of Marengo. Happened in the Napoleonic Wars. Some pretty crazy crap went on. I can go into detail on how that battle played out, but I don't think it's necessary. Okay. Now I'm just gonna send 500 here. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna buy more troops here. Another 400. And then I'm going to move that there. And that's going to take out this island here. And then they pretty much have everything not... The Kingdom of Visigoths only have stuff that's not on an island. So I'll be able to land raid them whenever I want. Or attack them on land any way I see fit when I'm done here. Okay! Well, now that I know that they made a naval fleet there, I'm actually going to make 100 more troops and send this here as support and to make up for the casualties that we're going to lose. And then I'm going to send it over here and attack this area. All they've done is just increase the amount of turns that they survive by 1. Because I'm just going to... Because that just took me an extra turn. So now I'm going to go over there and attack them. At this point, I think that the Kingdom of the Visigoths might start to try stuff because they realize that eventually I'm going to win. At this point, I have so much territory. I have 90% of the map under my control. This could be devastating to them. So next turn, when I attack this territory, I'm going to declare war on them. I'm going to send troops here, here, all over the place. I'm going to attack from these 2 territories down here, because this territory is going to be taken over by this, with some troops from here to here. Then this territory with 1,000 troops is going to move in here in case anything goes wrong with me trying to attack these territories. Or once I move it here, I can send support to these territories if they fail to raid this area here. Chances are, the amount of troops that they have on the border now is definitely going to be way less than what's going to be next turn when I declare war on them. Because when they when they receive news that I've declared war on someone, they're going to arm their borders. They want to protect themselves. But at this point, it's not going to do them much good. They have 1 troop left. And that is their leader. Hope he makes a noble stand and does his best. But even still, I'm very confident that we'll win, unless that's some lucky soldier right there. Okay, gonna move all of this here. And then I'm gonna move this here. I'm going to move this down here. This down here. I think I should do more than 100. So I'm just going to move that there. Okay. I'm going to send 700 there. And I guess that's going to be my next move for now. So now I'm going to move this down here. Going to take this out. I'm going to move 100 troops here. Going to move 100 there. And then I'm going to see where we can move from here. Okay. Well, my next thought is not that, but make 100 troops and deploy it here. That way, if they try to escape from a naval via naval force and get their leader to safety, that won't help them. They'll just lose it. Then from here, what I'm going to do is send about half my forces. Maybe a little bit more. I don't math well. And I'm going to move that there. And I think that is a victory for us. Well, rip headphone users. But anyway, guys, that is how you get a victory strategically, playing as the Kingdom of the Vandals on the Attack of the Barbarians, all nations playable scenario on Age of Conquest 4. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, taking the time to leave any comments, questions, or feedback for me in the comment section down below would be highly appreciated. and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye!